going. Oh, good. That worked out great. Okay. All right, here we go. It's the TWBD, and it starts in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons. Wonderful 5th edition D&D fun happening right here. There Will Be Dungeons with me, I'm Scott Johnson, by the way, with Bo Schwartz, John Jagger, Kristen Ashton, and of course Kyle Ferguson, and Chunks is with us as well. We're going to play this game, and we're going to have a great time tonight. We're very excited to be here. It's also the start of a brand new month, which means if you're a supporter of this show over at the Dungeons Plus supportership, then good news! There's a bonus show going up on today's feed along with this episode. So if you're one of the lucky people to get that early, that's how you do it. And you can sign up now if you still want it at therewillbedungeons.com. All right, we're going to jump right in. And as we do every week, in grand tradition, it's time for Kristen to sum up last week.
Last time on There Will Be Dungeons, Plan planted, Varel partitioned a plastering. He forced his friends to a bar where he imbibed brew, fearing facing angered angels, distressed over his dismemberment. Stanley sternly reminded the reptile that he couldn't be contrary after convincing Stanley to stay. They concocted camouflage from the now legendary Lohar, loaded up into their leader, and launched to their confidential cover. After a protracted powwow, a changeling charged them with mutating their mugs. Varel grew to a Goliath. Stanley stayed the same, designatedly dashing. Nash lost his lesions and tested a titillating tone, and Hope became human. Now perceived the part and regaled in robes, they took to the temple for an ablution and an abduction. Though told to tarry because the frail father was fatigued, Stanley worked his wiles, convincing the coven to concede to carrying out the consecration. He then loosened the Lavalier and swapped in the swindle. Back to their bunks they bolted, careening to the carriage and advancing to their next act, the airship. Now rejoin our heroes as they set off to secure the second stage of their sting. Will the push through the portal be painless? Are there going to be angry angels? And dare we dream of more drunk Varel? Stay tuned for today's adventure through the secret streets and baffling beats of Sigil.
Excellent recap as always. Bo, take us away.
Through the endless alleys and streets of Sigil, our heroes, Lady Despair and the Rambunctious Bunch, find themselves in a large hangar which contains a massive boat with wings and sails and propellers and all kinds of manner of technology never before seen by our heroes. There they met an elephant person who goes by the name of Captain Myart Cambandigenous. The party's just received a tour of said airship and have seen the deck above with all the gnomes hurriedly carrying rope and tying them around things and setting the sails, getting ready for the next launch. Down below, where the eating place is, which I can't remember the fancy term for, but exists.
Food court. Food court.
No, not a food court, but there's like a
mess.
word for the mess. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
The mess hall for the sailors, the gnomish sailors aboard the ship, the barracks, and even further below, where a great engine begins churning. Going brum, 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 and you can hear that brum, 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 echo throughout this large hangar bay that seems somewhat nestled in the dark below. The walls all around this area are stone, but gray and black. There's illumination from torches, but there isn't much industry around the boat. This appears to be somewhat of an illicit spot. The airship sits on large rails, and if one had to guess, once the stoppers were pulled out of place, the ship would slide down these rails to a large circle formed on the far wall. There's nothing there, but your assumption would be that some sort of portal is meant to open up at the bottom of these rails. Captain Myart brings you back to the top of the ship and looks around and says, "So, what did you think of the tour of the Traveler's Twin?"
Well, it was an impressive ship, to be sure.
I assure you, it's the fastest airship in the Outlands. It made the Dragonlance run in less than 10
Minutes.
Arcana sex. That did that. I shouldn't say that last thing. That's way too meta. So, it goes very fast.
We've never done that before on the show.
First for everything. Okay, can I get quick table talk? Can I this captain? He's like a up on his hind legs elephant person. Do I have that right in my head?
Yes, a standing bipedal elephant person. If you want to have a sense of what their race looks like, just because you might not have encountered them, they're not a common fantasy race, although Magic the Gathering players know them. Just an image search for Loxodon, Loxodon.
Loxodon race. Okay, and the reason I ask, well, because I want to draw him, but second of all, is he fancy? Is he like, regaled in sort of captain's attire and all that?
This captain is indeed looks like if the clothes were to tell a story about this captain's life, that would be the clothing they wear would be a book. There's a jacket with tassels and straight shoulders on either side. The captain's also wearing the typical hat that you might have seen in the Solar Mines in a sailor book. I believe in the Solar Mines there was a series of films called The Pirates of the Caribbean, and her dress looks a lot like the I don't remember the character's name, not Jack Sparrow, but the Jeffrey Rush one.
Barbosa.
Captain Barbosa, yeah.
Without all the the dingleberries and mollusks or whatever that guy had, but like she's got like ornate like a captain's outfit, including like breeches and then stockings where the knees are, and the big boots. No peg leg.
Okay, and it is
disappointing to your Solar Mine affectation.
But it is a lady, right?
You haven't confirmed. The only reason you know it's a lady is because I can't help but say she.
Okay.
And ruined everything.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. This
so
is
you're
good.
Not sure.
This is good. I like the nuance of this vision of this character. I like it.
Right. So she has a tall stature. She's about 7 feet tall. She rivals Vorel in height, but she's quite large. Where Vorel, who is a thick lizard with rippling muscles, looks skinny and like a heroin addict when next to the thickness of her frame.
Okay. So big, real big. All right.
So she's full colonial pirate. It's an elephant person standing upright, and she has many like adornments, like brooches and little knickknacks attached to it, almost like a scrapbook of adventure upon her.
Okay.
On one arm, there's like a dolphin, a gold dolphin that's just hanging there. On the other one, there's a little gear and a clock that's hanging off.
Nice.
You see that there's a scarf, sort of tied on her right side. You don't know what the scarf is for, but it's ornate and decorative.
Okay.
She carries a cutlass, which is a sword, on her waist.
And the cutlass is kind of like a regular cutlass, right? Kind of curved and wide at the end and all that. Okay.
Is it 2 size for her stature, or is it human size so it looks tiny?
It's her size, so that she can wield it. It's wieldable in combat for her, not like a toothpick. It's not like.
Just had to make sure.
Cool. Yeah. Did you have any questions about the ship or my crew?
Is it
Which side are we jumping off of?
Well, I rather think that we'll see when we get there. It all depends how they greet us, and where the quietest way in will be.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the White Tower, yes?
That's right.
How bumpy of a ride is it?
That depends on the locals.
Oh.
If we get, if it's smooth sailing and no encounters of any kind, it will be a smooth ride. You can be assured.
And how long is it going to take for us to get there?
With the wind, I'm thinking probably under normal circumstances, with the wind permitting, maybe an hour, 2 hours maximum.
Oh. And are we planning on leaving today, or?
Just now, in fact, that you're here, but our patron wanted to have a word with you before leaving. And with that, Captain Bjart flourishes her hand behind you and bids you look behind. And as you turn around to see who's approaching, you see a halfling, very small, dressed very richly, button-up jacket, surrounded by 4 humanoid people behind him. You can't tell what they are because their faces are covered. They're wearing the distinct gi of the same assassins who attacked you that night before the finals of the M Sports competition. If you've not met, this here is Gerbkin Shartlinger, called in some circles the Mind Master. Gerbkin Varel is looking straight at you as he approaches. There's a boat, and then there's like a dock, and then there's the solid ground. So he waits on the other side on solid ground while you're on the boat with Captain Bjart.
Varel, didn't you say you knew a Mind Master or something to that effect?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I am perfectly aware of the Mind Master, the backroom taunter.
He looks at you and he says, Varel, come here and speak with me.
No,
Ground.
I'd rather not. I'm sure you've poisoned the ground or weed on it, or some sort of vile trick.
You must show some respect. Who do you think made today's voyage possible? And he flourishes to the boat.
Captain?
Tobacho had a need for an airship under very short circumstances. And who do you think it was who provided said airship?
The captain?
It was me, you idiot. There's no one more versed in the ways of business with more connections all throughout Sigil. No one but me could obtain an airship on short notice. But I did not come here to taunt you. We will leave our rivalry on the M Sports field. I simply came to wish you good luck on your voyage and to offer you a gift. He nods to one of his entourage, and the entourage, that person dressed in a black ninja-like outfit, plain otherwise, but you see the wolf and the moon emblazoned on the gi, steps forward onto the plank across to the boat with a small locket, like a something you'd hold a necklace in, like a box, very ornate. Kneels down before you, Varel, and flips open the box to reveal a very large chained necklace, and at the end, what appears to be the head of a dragon with emeralds for eyes. It's very ornate, very beautiful looking to a person who appreciates jewelry.
It's lovely. What is the purpose of this gift?
It is a gift for you to take with you on your mission. I hope that you will find it helpful.
It's gonna strangle me, isn't it?
It will bolster your defenses in combat.
All right. What is your stake in this game, or have you just been paid off for the airship?
I have made arrangement with Tobacho for the airship. I want nothing from you but peace, that we work together to please Tobacho. We are allies now.
How did they work?
I thought it better that you heard it from me. Sorry, how did they work? We were kind of...
Yeah. I said, how did they work?
In reference to the necklace?
No, I'm asking him that.
How does what work?
The assassins without their clothes.
The secrets of the Crimson... What did I call them? Shit. Crimson. Crimson Moon.
Crimson somethings. Oh.
The secrets of the Order of the Crimson Moon are not for me to reveal themselves. Perhaps you should apply to join their order. And if you pass their rigorous testing, you too can become a Knight Brother.
Well, then we are allies for now, and I will take the box. But know that I owe you a nighttime visit.
Whoa.
Hope will cough.
Man.
The halfling, you know, there's a glint in his eye, and he looks at you and he goes, I look forward to this encounter with you. Bon voyage. And he sort of twirls his hand, and his entourage turns around, and he turns around, but then he looks back and he gives you a roguish look, Varel, and then turns and looks towards in front of him, and they leave the area. What
Insight.
was that about? Says
I want to
Captain
roll
Miller.
insight on that roguish look.
Okay.
18.
You don't trust that roguish look, but what it's about, you don't know. Your prior history with him, you've met him on the field of combat, you know his truth, you know something is afoot.
And I'll rejoin the party.
And then Stanley's speaking, but can't be heard.
Oh. Was he muted?
That's a interesting fellow that you are acquainted with, Varel?
Yes, no one else remembers this. He was the one... That's right, you weren't alive. He taunted me from the back of a room. His girlfriend there attacked us at night. And he did not cheat, which does make him slightly noble, but no less annoying.
Wait a minute, if he attacked you, wouldn't that be cheating?
He hired a different guild to do it, and it was only to poison me, so I would vomit on stage and throw the game. But there was a very kind doctor who sang a song that I don't remember.
Oh, well. You know, honestly, when you said you were playing M Sports to try and win money, I didn't realize that it was quite that perilous.
Oh, it was very intense. They take it very seriously around here.
Clearly.
I was given this necklace, and if any of you have the way to sense what it will do when I put it upon me, I'd very much like that, lest I be choked as you were with your elven wife.
Let me see it, says Nash. Do you have it now, or does he still have it?
No, if you take it, as long as he gives it up, then you have it.
No, I mean...
Yeah, I'll pass it over Nash.
Okay. And I would like to do an arcane check on it.
Okay, perfect. So, arcane check. Make your arcana roll, please.
I shall do so shortly, as soon as I find my thing. There it is. Okay. Let's go. Okay. That'll be a 14.
Okay, so you can tell that the object, the medallion within your hands as you look at it, is definitely forged with some kind of magic. Specifically what the magic is, you don't know. It will require either some sort of spell in order to unravel its secrets, like detect magic or something of the like, or someone can spend an hour attuning with the item to study it and discover its properties.
All right,
Can
I
we
will
give you that spell, Scott? I think you have it.
detect magic.
Or identify, one or the other.
I don't remember. Let me look. Oh, I do have detect magic at level 1. You know what? I will do that.
Okay.
Let's
burn the
detect
spirit
magic.
slot, please.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so you study
Forgot I had
the
that.
amulet
Yeah.
and cast a spell, and what does your detection of magic look like? Do your hands light up? Does your
I just sort of
eye
go.
go
So
crazy?
I hold up the necklace, and I kind of fiddle it through my fingers and stare at it very closely. Look at it through whatever light is available. Get up close to it, smell it, flip it over, lick the back, just right up the back, and then I go. I spy with my magical eye, magical properties. Please don't lie. And then I wait.
Booyah.
I'm waiting for the answer.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. You have in your hands an amulet of health.
Ooh.
So it sets a constitution score to 19 if you wear the amulet.
On top of whatever you've already got,
Oh, wow.
or
Not plus 19. It
Okay.
sets it to 19.
Pretty nice.
got it. That's not bad. Still pretty good. All right. I'll turn to Varel and go. Varel, this is an amulet of health. You lucky bastard. You're gonna survive
You
more.
also
than...
happen to notice as you hold it over, you see there's a message written on the back of the amulet.
Oh, what's this? And can I read it?
Mm-hmm. It says, to Varel, to future friendships. And then it says, Mind Master.
Okay, I'll say that and
Aww.
hand it over to him. It's like a Valentine, Varel. Congratulations.
That is very kind of him, but I have no need of it. I am as strong as the day I was born, and more so for the experiences and things I have lifted along the way.
But are you 19 strong?
I am 18 strong, Nash.
But wouldn't one extra piece of strong, that'd be sweet.
Sadly, Nash, one more piece of strong does not equal a modifier increaser, so this would serve someone else in the party better.
Oh, jeez.
Hope looks very confused.
Wow.
Inspiration for both of you, please.
Oh, sweet. I haven't had that in a while.
That was great.
Okay. So, let me ask this. Well, hold on. So we can pass this around to whoever needs it, I guess. Table talk time. Who needs it?
Hey, we don't have to RP. I can...
We will pass this around to whoever needs the most health in their pool.
I mean, I think I have the lowest health pool, but
My constitution, my health. So that's what we need to do is say what our health pool and then our constitution modifier is, right? Or what our constitution total is.
right.
Why can't I find my constitution? Where is it? I've had my modifier. Oh, 17. So I'm 17. That's only 2, so I don't think I'm the guy. I think it needs to be maybe the bard.
What is yours at, Hope?
Let me see here. My hit points are at 94, but let me check my constitution. It's a 16, but I'm not sure the mod.
See, that's better than, or she could use it more than me, certainly.
I have
My
a 13.
constitution is a
Oh, well, then
plus
John
3.
gets it. John has a 13. You should get it, John.
Totally.
Gotta wear Pharrell's booby-trapped necklace to help.
I'll whip around and
Alright.
go, it's for you, Stanley.
Alright, I'll
Since you've
put...
used detect magic on it, you have a reasonable certainty that it's not trapped. All but the most pernicious of magics would go undetected with that spell.
I will take it. If nobody else can use it, I will take it.
In all likelihood, this isn't a booby trap thing because it's been invented by Scott.
It wouldn't
by
be the
Nash.
first booby trap necklace I put on, and it won't be the last.
Well, you know, I don't like to strike the same note over and over again.
All right. I will take the necklace and I will put it on.
It chokes you immediately.
Oh, no!
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
That would suck.
We hear Toby screamed in the background.
Yeah.
You stole my girlfriend. All right. Yeah. All right. So you put it on, and you immediately feel younger, more energetic, less lethargic,
Oh my
kind of have a good disposition, healthy.
Look at those hit points. Wow.
Well, that was an interesting interaction. Vorel, says Captain Mjart. You two
Yes,
appear to
Captain.
be long-standing friends.
With the Mind Master.
Yes.
Yes, it appears we shall be friends.
Well, I will say this about the Mind Master. He's always paid his dues to me for my services. Can't say the same for all business people of Sigil. They like to wait until the absolute last minute to pay, not until you've sent some goons to go speak with them. His style of business is much appreciated.
We're blossoming in trust, the two of us.
Nope, I don't think that's true.
The sound
takes
of the
off-
dice roll before he said it really sold it. That was great.
I wish that happened in life. You just walk around and people make a decision. Can I have that? No, you can't have it.
Well, it's not for me to pry. You have your task, and I have mine, which is making sure I get you to where you need to be. Come, board the ship. We'll be departing within the next minute or two. Get comfortable. Do you, drink tea? And she looks at you, Stanley.
He looks like a tea drinker.
I could. Yeah, if you're offering, that would be fantastic.
Well, once we've set sail, you can watch the departure from the side here. But once you've had enough of all the visuals, why don't you come to my quarters, just up there? And she points up towards the top back area of the ship where there's some doors. Just come on in. No need to knock. The four of you, we can enjoy some tea and some sky biscuits.
Ugh. Pray tell, Elephant Lady, what is a sky biscuit?
No, it's just some kind of a scone. We just call them sky biscuits to make the treat taste more, I don't know, more for us and less for the landlings.
Yes, let them eat land biscuits while you eat the air biscuits. Fair enough.
Very well.
I'll try land biscuit or air biscuit.
I think you might be having a laugh at my expense, Mr. Nash.
No, I just am curious. We don't. Where we're from, there are no air biscuits where we come from.
Arr, there, don't get on my bad side, you landlubber.
I forgot that she says pirate things in almost a whimsical way. That's
Yeah.
great.
I'll meet you in my quarters, little ones. And she makes her way up. She yells at a few gnomes. She says, "Set the sails! The traveler's twin rides again!" And then all the gnomes start to rush into action, and then sails start to open up, and you hear a gunk, 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 and then your boat detaches from being anchored to the rails and begins sliding towards the wall. And then one of the gnomes looks at you, Stanley, and he goes, "This is where the fun begins. and they all start going crazy, putting sails up. The sails are at full mast, and as you get closer and closer to this giant wall, a large portal just appears, purple and pink in color. It just goes boom, 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 when it encompasses everything. You just look way up, and there's just this watery material, and the ship just goes. And as the portal slides past your perception and slides past you, you're immediately in this beautiful blue sky. It's the first time you've seen sky in maybe a month or so. Real sky. And as you look around, take it all in, you begin free falling. And just as you start to panic because you're free falling, the whole boat makes it out, stops falling, and the engines kick in, and it goes. And the whole airship is like vibrating. And you are floating, and you look, you're on a boat in the middle of the sky, and there's endless blue sky all around you, except in one direction where you look, you see that there is one single mountain that is infinity height. And you look down over the side, you see it touches ground, and you look up at this mountain, and it goes so high that you can't even see the top. But you think you can see the top. Maybe up near the stars, if you peer hard enough, there's a little donut floating at the top of the mountain.
I would like to perception check to see if there are flying things around the mountain.
Okay.
With a 13.
There's nothing flying near the mountain in that space. All you see is a single spire, infinite in length. And at the top you see what you think is like a tiny donut. The gnome looks over at you. Again, Stanley goes, "Fine, yes?"
Stanley is like in full brace kind of mode and looks down. It's not exactly something that I would describe as fun just yet, but I could get used to it, I suppose.
Look around below. All the outlands there are. And he peers over, points down, and you see, as you look down, there's a large landmass that extends out into infinity in all directions. There appears to be bodies of water, but no large oceans. But there's bodies of water, and the terrain is strange. There's different colors. You see forested areas, but also you see deserts, and you see like swampy areas. You see areas that don't make sense at all. There's a whole purple area where the land looks purple and black. And there's just, it's mind-boggling the way the land masses all sort of crushed together, and they don't seem to sit still even in your vision, but you can't just tell if that's because you're too far away. But there's a giant landmass, and the base of that mountain is at the center of this landmass. These are the outlands. If you're a prime person, this is a sight to behold for sure. All the heavens and hells meet here and wage war and trade. A place of great opportunity.
How do they decide if they're waging war or trading?
Depends if they're aligned or not. So the Bodrons, while they are not a people for good, they are people who value order. And there are those who would value order, say from Mount Celestia, and they may engage in trade because their ideologies are very close together. But some powers shall never befriend other powers as they fight across the cosmos. The outlands are their battleground. But where there is war, there is profit to be made. And we're going to make some profit today, yes? Yes, you profit?
In a manner of speaking.
Sorry, there's a loud bang, but I have my headphones on. Hope everything's okay.
I hope so too.
Yeah, it's weird.
How loud? Like gun
Well,
bang?
it was like in the house foundation shook.
Oh.
A little disconcerting.
Yeah, you don't like that.
I'm in the top half of a house, maybe just downstairs.
Is it this?
Sorry.
Was it like this? It wasn't that loud,
No,
was
no,
it?
no. It was like foundational.
Okay.
And yeah. Anyways, it just distracted me
All
because
right.
it was louder than normal.
All right.
Don't know what it is.
All right.
Yeah. So it's like someone slammed a door or drove a car into the house.
Oh, jeez.
Anyways, back to the show.
Those are two very different things. Somebody slammed a door, or a guy drove a car through the house. But I hope it's the former, not the
Just
latter.
one of those two.
Yeah, one of those.
Now, for all the chaos of the terrain below, the sky is very bright and beautiful. You're quite impressed. There's a fair amount of clouds in the sky, so visibility is not infinite by any stretch. But it's a beautiful, sunshiny day. And you feel the warmth of light bathe upon you. But as you look into the sky to find a sun, you don't actually find a sun. You don't see a sun. What would you like to do?
Well, before we get too much further, Nash, I'm going to have to share with you 2 of these scrolls each. My understanding is that they're going to need to be read by a magic user, which means when we jump, you're going to have to hang on to one person, I'm going to have to hang on to one person, and we each will cast the spell.
Okay. I mean, okay. Rah. Yeah.
I'll give two of the scrolls to Nash, who's growling at me for no good reason whatsoever.
All right. Do I need to know? What's the timing on this? When do I do it?
Before you hit the ground.
So wait, I gotta read these after we jump, or can I read them now?
No, you would read it on the way down and cast the spell at that moment.
Well, that's a complicated thing to do. The pressure of jumping out to otherwise your death and hoping that reading this is going to do something for us. That's scary. I mean, I'll do it. I'm just saying.
You know how to cast this spell. You should be able to read the words from it and summon the power from it relatively easily.
Right. It's like saying, here, read this poem while you're, getting sucked down a giant toilet. But don't worry, just read the poem. It's fine. It's the other part's, but there's the falling part. It's scary, Stanley, is all I'm saying.
Sure.
All right, well, I hope you appreciate this, and I'll take the scrolls.
That's funny. Okay. Well, so make sure to add the scrolls to your inventory, please.
Okay. Are these have a real name or just a...
No, you can just type them in. I
Okay.
don't have a... There's no item in D&D Beyond for them.
Okay.
So how many did you give him?
2, right?
2.
2 scrolls.
Cool.
From Stanley. All right, they're in.
Yeah, do you guys have your plan of attack all together for when you get there? Do you need information?
I mean, there might be information to be gleaned over tea and sky biscuits.
For
Yeah, with those
clarification, they are
exchanged,
sky biscuits, not air biscuits, right?
Sky. She said sky biscuits.
Okay. All right.
As far as you know, sky biscuits.
Okay. It's a very different thing.
Yep.
Well, should we go pay our captain a visit, or is there more planning that needs to be done first?
Unless we know what the place looks like, I don't know if there's anything else to be done.
I tend to agree. We need to eat. And then we'll know
Start
more.
making our... Just really wants those sky biscuits, man.
I do.
Alright, so
All
the
right. We're going that way.
All right, so the 4 of you make your way to the back of the boat. Now the boat is relatively large, and as you walk, you find yourselves tripping over gnomes like constantly. Like there's a fairly large crew of gnomes, about 50 you've seen or that you can count. And they're running all over the place, just making sure the ship's staying afloat. You hear the propellers go. And you make your way to the top back of the door, and she said not to knock. So as you reach the door, you gently push in and open up and see Captain Yart sitting in a large, comfortable chair. That's what are they? It's an ornate, very big, like Victorian-style chair that can suit her frame. And on the other side of her, there's a table, and there's chairs enough for the four of you. And there's all kinds of knickknacks dangling from the ceiling, like just little, chains, little decorative ribbons and curtains. The place is full. It's like a hoarder's nest, except it's well kept. It smells strongly pungent of bread in there. And on one corner, you see that there's a large telescope sort of leaning out of a window. On the opposite side, and there's even a bed in there that's a large sort of king size bed, very big, off to one side, and she's sitting on her chair. She, appears to be knitting a shirt. Welcome to my quarters. Please sit down. Arr.
All right, go over, take a seat.
Hope we'll sit down.
Yeah, I'll sit.
All right. Uki, she says. Uki, you can bring in the refreshments now. Yes. And with that, Uki, a monkey, bursts in through one of the other doors off to the side that you didn't see. And Uki is holding, in one hand, a large, like, teapot. And in the other hand has a tray, and it's full of these, bready-looking biscuits, like they're crumpets, like big sort of mashy things. And he jumps up from the door, drops onto the table, puts them down, and goes, and then she climbs up onto Captain Mjart, and the monkey sits on Captain's shoulders. Help yourselves to the sky biscuits and tea. I'll pour the tea, actually. And she takes, underneath the table, there appears to be sort of a drawer in the table itself. She pulls it out, and she starts placing cups on the table. And she says, so, tell me about yourselves. You don't look like you're, you look formidable, yes? With those razor-sharp matching outfits.
Oh, it should be noted I'm not wearing the rambunctious bunch armor anymore.
Aren't we still in cleric gear?
I assumed you dressed down. Are you still in cleric gear?
I'm back in my normal leather armor because it's better.
What's everyone wearing then?
I think I'm just in Nash, whatever Nash has been wearing. I forget now.
Well, you were wearing like a schoolboy's outfit for a while.
Yeah, I'm not wearing that anymore, though.
No, probably the most badass thing you have is the Rambunctious Bunch outfit, which is, it's got the skulls on the back and the demon face in the front, the leather jacket,
Okay.
tight pants, the shoulders, like
I would
gang
have
clothes.
I would have stayed in that.
Okay.
I'll be in those.
Well, you were in altar boy clothes for a little while, but you
Right.
switch back.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so Stanley's wearing whatever he likes to wear to make himself look handsome. Vorel, did you disrobe, or are you still looking rambunctious? Are you Toyota? You're not Toyota host anymore?
I thought I was wearing the robe still, so I've been walking around.
We skipped that detail. Okay, you have your robe on still.
Yeah, and my 3 casks.
Right, your 3 casks. You can put those down, I'm not sure that we needed that much ale for the trip.
I put 2 of them down and then sort of teddy bear style hold the other one under my arm.
And what is Hope wearing?
She'd be in her rambunctious gear.
Lady Despair. All right, so Captain Mjart looks over to you and says, if I'm to understand this correctly, you're the leader of this bunch.
Hope nods as she drinks her tea.
So have you come up with a plan on how you'll pregnate the White Tower?
That's the plan.
Whoa.
Vorel, it's a figure of speech.
Go on.
Well, we have these scrolls of Dimension Door, and the plan is to leap from the top of the airship teleport inside, locate the item, teleport back up to the top, and then use these other scrolls here to ascend back up.
Very good. And have you sorted out how I might be notified when you're ready for returning?
Well, I believe we were under the impression you'd be remaining above, but that would be a good idea to figure out. Are you
may-
going to need much time?
It may prove to be too dangerous to just simply float above an army of hell. So, how about I give you one of these? And she reaches into one of her drawers, pulls out a rock, and puts the rock on the table. Please eat your sky biscuits.
Did the monkey have a hand in making these sky biscuits?
Oh, I hope not.
Very good. Rum nom 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 nom. I'm gonna have a biscuit.
All right. And it just tastes like a crumpet. There's nothing distinguishing, special, or magic fancy. It's a bit of a disappointment considering the name.
Okay.
They just call them sky biscuits. But it's still delicious, freshly made.
Okay.
And what exactly does this item do?
This is a sending stone. Have you heard of such a thing?
I believe Hope has used something similar to it. How does this one work?
You simply, touch it here to activate it, and then send your message to me when you're ready. Don't send it to me too early now. The LZ will be hot. I expect there to be much in the way of danger, so we should like to be safe in the sky while you plunder your wares. Arr. Isn't that right, Uki? Yes, and she scratches Uki in the chin. So tell me about yourselves. How came you to Sigil?
Well, for two of us, we died.
Oh, heavens, that sounds inconvenient.
I was a
Did
floating
I
heart.
say something wrong?
I was a floating heart for a while.
Really?
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
And did you see the world differently as a floating heart?
No, but it saw me differently.
No experiences that you learn from your time as something other than your normal self?
Well, it made me appreciate my limbs and my communication skills and my ability to eat. A few things like
I'm
that.
not interviewing you. You can feel free to speak candidly with me.
Well, oh, shit.
I know we're strangers and bedfellows of business, and it might be inadvisable to share great details with some stranger. But I've traveled the plains in my ship, and if there's one thing I've learned is that life is short, even if for some of us it's eternal. And it always does the soul good to share connections with others. Now, Hope, why is it you've chosen these three to be your servants, your military, your guard? What is it about them that makes you trust them?
Well, when one goes through what we've been through, how could you not trust them?
Been through a lot, have you? I see the deep bonds of connection between all of you. Pharrell, you make that face. What is this face of untrusting?
I'm not sure who I'm supposed to be right now.
A good question. There was a time that I didn't know who I be. And I suckled from the leaves of a great plant and traveled through the astral sea for an amount of time I can't imagine. But there I found purpose and meaning. Perhaps you require such a voyage, Vorel.
No, I do not require to perform such deeds. I merely mean that over the last day, I have been a bruiser named Toyota, a Goliath, and now myself. Though, should we be ourselves, friends? Is this safe?
Are you new to the world of espionage, Vorel, friend?
I do not know that language.
Espionage is not a language, but the world of spies. Do you know what a spy is?
I believe so.
Well, that is what you've become. You're a spy. You find information and you sell it to the highest bidder. You take on the appearance of others to get your deeds done. A spy, reviled as a liar and misfit, and someone not to be trusted. Is that a line with who you wish yourself to be?
No, I'm none of those things.
It sounds as though you've been doing those things.
I've had to do what's necessary.
That's an interesting statement. What is necessary, Hope?
Hope's just gonna be shaking her head, confused. It's going back to her. She always likes to stay quiet. And Hope will just stay quiet and drink her tea.
Very well. Perhaps we'll find another time to speak. I'm very curious about all four of you. Just while we have some time to kill on the high skies, yes? Arr. I haven't seen real action in a few months. This will be exciting.
Well, hopefully exciting within reason.
Have you finished formulating your plans? I believe I asked this already. Oops.
I mean, I believe so, unless
The
you
tea is hitting
can
me rather hard.
think of any other glaring omissions that we are overlooking at the moment.
Come here. Which of you wishes to examine where we are heading?
I mean, we probably
Stanley
all
will
would like to, but
Move up.
yeah,
she's-
Stanley's
She
our guy.
stands- Okay, so she stands up and walks across to the telescope that is out the window, and she gets crouches down on her knees because it's a lot smaller, and then peers out using the telescope, and then she uses her trunk to push open the window doors a bit, so that she can lean a little bit farther out with the telescope. She goes, "Ah, yes." And she looks back to Stanley. Stanley, please come here.
All right, go over.
Okay, so she takes her hand gently on your waist and sits you down on her knee, and then brings the telescope up to your eye, sort of making sure she holds it in the right position, and you're sitting on her lap looking out of the telescope, and she sort of has you in her sort of care of her arms,
Her
so to
meaty
speak.
grip.
How comfortable does Stanley feel?
I mean, this seems comfortable. Seems all right.
The breeze from the window blows in, and it blows some of her scent into your direction, and you can sort of smell, and it smells lovely, like lavender. She smells great.
All right. I look through the telescope.
You look through the telescope, and you see that this is some powerful telescope. It's very like long range in terms of what it can see, and you look upon a white tower along a field of charred land, all blackened. And as you look around on the tower, the first thing that jumps out at you is you see these black specks, maybe with hands and legs, crawling on the outside of the tower. And then you see a big explosion, and another one on the tower. And as you pan a little bit to the left with the guidance of Captain Miart holding her hands in yours, like on top of the telescope, you pan a little bit and you see trebuchets being loaded up. And then you notice the black charred land isn't land at all, but huge columns of some sort of army, but you can't make out the particulars. You just see lots of little flaming torches, bonfires, and the trebuchets themselves appear to be pelting this white tower endlessly, and all surrounding this white tower, which is it's a square brick. It looks like an Xbox Series X. It's just square and but definitely a tower, but it's chunk. And there's this large army of just these blackened creatures with fiery sources all around. And she whispers into your ear and she says, "That's a very serious looking situation you're entering into. Are you worried about your safety?"
Stanley leans back. We've seen worse.
She lets out with her trunk. I'm super impressed. You are brazen and brave. I haven't met folks like you in many years.
I think she likes you, Stanley, says Nash from a ways off.
Like D&D does Ghost.
Yeah.
What's the song during that?
My darling.
That's awesome.
All right, and as you're looking out of the telescope, there's a loud bang outside of the room you're in. And the ship rocks. And as the ship rocks, I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw, except for you, Stanley.
Oh, no.
Captain Bjart holds you steady in her arms. And she's like got a grip on your waist and on your leg, and she's got you. Everyone else?
16 for Nash.
13.
14.
All right. Hope and Varel, you slip to the ground, falling prone. Not taking any damage, but you fall prone, and the ship rocks. And then a gnome bursts open the door and says, "Captain, we're under attack!"
Captain, we're under attack!
We're under attack!
Can we give Bo inspiration? Because that was amazing. Oh my gosh.
You hear the cries of gnomes outside, just going, "Get for the decks! We're under attack! No!" And as you rush to the door to look what's going on, you see that a large, the skies are dotted with black as these large beast-like creatures begin flying all around the ship. And Captain Mjart looks around and says, "We've been sold under the river. Arr, get them!" And as you look around, you refer to roll 20 for the visual representation of the scenario.
Roll 20, eh? Yeah. Roll 20.
As you exit the door, you see that there are these giant flying beasts everywhere. They're humanoid in shape. They have long, beastly, hairy, furry bodies and they have large wings. And between the massive amount of these creatures in the sky, you see two large dragon-like beings also floating around the ship. And Captain Muir looks around. She says, "This was not part of the plan. Attack them!" And gnomes begin like rolling up these cannons and start trying to take shots of the dragon. And the ship rocks. And just as you're getting just a lay of what's going on, what's happening, some of these creatures descend onto the boat floor and begin attacking. When we come back, we'll roll for initiative, and combat will begin.
Oh my lord. All right. Well, you know what that means. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to take 5 minutes. Everyone go pee, get a drink, and we'll see you in a moment. Or will
Yay.
Or
We're under attack!
We're under attack!
Sabotage!
Sabotage!